So, backtracking to your history, okay? Is it true? Does history really repeat itself?
Pretty much. No. I mean, yeah.
Awesome answer. That's good.
I would love to have you as a teacher.
Well, welcome back to another episode of the Bedtime Stories podcast, where my name is Philip and I'm joined with my wife,
Michaela.
And now our very first guest speaker. Turn down for what we got. My brother, the one and only
Matthew.
Very nice. Very nice. Welcome to the podcast. It's an honor.
Your voice was so deep on that.
Welcome.
Matthew.
I don't know why, but for people who don't know me, but they know Matthew, if I talk, they instantly know that you're my brother.
Every single time.
But I don't really see the similarities in voices.
I don't either, honestly. I think we sound nothing alike.
I don't either. I think we sound nothing alike. No, I'm really curious because I don't think we've ever actually videoed or recorded ourselves.
So here we go. You know, we'll see what we sound like in recording.
We thought long and hard about who our first guest was going to be, and it turns out to be my brother. Now, why, you might ask? Well, you're going to find out tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon.
Really?
Or whatever time it might be that you're watching this. We're going to post it at nighttime because you're supposed to watch the podcast at night. Why? Because it's called
Bedtime Stories.
Yeah, not Good Morning Stories. But if you want to watch it in the morning, that's totally fine. But anyway, this is my brother, Matthew.
The Matthew.
Matthew's been my brother since the day he was born. And
that is true. I can remember.
I just want to, start off just asking you a few questions about who you are, what you do.
Who are you, Matthew?
Besides my brother, what is it that you do?
I'm a student at Memphis right now, studying history. I'm a fifth-year senior, so
History.
Yeah, it's not that.
So talk us through why did you pick history?
I wanted to become a history teacher. That was my favorite topic in high school. So I figured, why not, study it and learn more about every kind of history in the world that we have, and eventually just teach it in high school or middle school, whichever.
Yes.
And then going to get a master's in education, but we'll see where the road takes us.
I got you.
See where it leads.
And then you also work at a restaurant, right?
Yeah, I work at a restaurant downtown called
The best
Flight Restaurant and Wine Bar. We're just a upscale fine dining restaurant.
He says we're just an upscale fine dining restaurant, very casually. Y'all, if you've never been to Flight before, this is well beyond above upscale restaurant. We're talking about what I think, is it either nationally?
Fourth.
What are you ranked?
Nationally, we're number 4 right now, but we're going for number 1.
We are sponsored by Flight right now. This is what it sounds like.
Y'all, go to Flight. Flight is incredible.
Hey, it is 901 day, so
Hey,
there's a little.
We're
Memphis
recording this on
recommendation.
901 day. Happy
901 and
901.
901, baby.
Yes. Man, how crazy. We should have started. Listen, we were supposed to start filming at 9 o'clock.
should have done 901.
And then it
901
would have been
to 901.
901. But yeah, we started late, but that's okay. So backtracking to your history, okay? Is it true? Does history really repeat itself?
Pretty much. No. I mean, yeah.
Awesome answer. That's
I
good.
would love to have you as a teacher.
I'm just curious. I mean, so when it comes to history, you study you're doing art history too, right?
It's the Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Yeah, that's an art history class.
So talk to me about your first day in Egyptology. What was that experience like?
Egyptology. So ancient Egypt's very
Egyptian.
Egyptian. Yes, very true. But not a lot of places offer it as a class, and so Memphis being named after the Egyptian city in Memphis, we have a Egyptian major, I guess, at Memphis. So a lot of professors are really cool about it. And so I have a really cool Egyptian professor right now, and we basically.
So he's actually Egyptian.
No,
Oh,
he's he's from Boston, I think.
Okay. But so you have an Egyptian teacher teaching your Egyptian
No,
class.
but he reads and I think
awesome.
he speaks fluent Egyptian,
Okay.
like hieroglyphics and all.
So he can. I mean, I feel like anybody can read hieroglyphics, though, right?
No,
Whatever.
no, I
feel like
it
I
shows,
could read hieroglyphics.
I don't know. That's basically what he said. We
hieroglyphics.
went over how it was formed and all that, and basically how some dude looked at some hieroglyphics and was like, "Oh, that's a rabbit," and the term for rabbit, he was like, okay, that means open in Egyptian, just because he thought the rabbit's eyes were open.
Interesting.
But I completely forgot what it actually meant.
Yeah.
But like he just got it coincidental. Like he was like, oh yeah, it's open.
So do you guys have to study hieroglyphics? Or
No,
is it just like that was just a chapter in the book?
that was just that was just like his intro, like syllabus week. Talking about like breaking,
Yeah.
Eurocentrical mindsets of history. That's the biggest like kind of mindset I have to overcome as a history major.
Y'all. I don't know if you can see her. Scout didn't make the last
She's having a
podcast. Get her
rough
up here.
night.
Get her up
She's
here.
having a rough night.
You'll lift her up. Don't get her on Matthew. Scout, come here.
I don't think we should.
No, she does not want to be on the podcast.
She's just-
Captain will make an appearance on every podcast, it looks like.
We actually I did a little poll question thing to see who people thought the first guest would be. Someone guessed Captain. They were wrong.
They weren't necessarily wrong, but
They were kind of wrong.
he kind of was the first guest on the first episode.
He was.
I mean, a little. He made a little
popped his head
tiny
in.
appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway, so moving on from the history. Talk to
Teacher.
us about flight. Well, maybe like give us what's been some of your favorite stories about flight that you could tell us about.
Oh man. So
Oh,
like
yeah, funny story.
funny stories.
Sure, I like 'em.
Any kind of story that you got. What's like when you think of your time with flight, because you've been there for 3 or 4 years.
3.5 years.
So almost 4 years, which by the way is incredible because so many people don't make it a year into their job,
Especially in restaurants.
right,
Yeah.
let alone 3.5. So great job on that. What's been some of your favorite parts about working there? Favorite stories? Do you have anything like that?
Going into this job that I had, I came from like a desk job at a church. And so going from a very fast-paced environment at a restaurant, it was a sink or swim environment for me. So I either had to like learn quickly or it was like, hey, you got to go. It's not going to work out. And so for me, I came in, I was awful at my job, so bad they almost fired me. And they're like, yeah, you're not the,
What did
not
you
the best
do?
fit. I was just slow.
Okay.
So like if y'all seen Flight, we're 4 stories in a restaurant, so a lot of stairs going up and down. You got to move back and forth, and so for me, like starting off as like an essay, like everyone starts off as, I had to go up and down floors, take some dishes to like kitchen, take water off tables, fill them back up. I was not quick at all, and people hated me because of it. Every single time I went into work, I had to do like water glasses, I had to clear dishes off the tables and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I hated it because, I didn't enjoy it at all. But one of the cool things about Flight is that, we go the extra step and we actually have to like rework our minds instead of like, I have to do that. I have to do that. And this is also like a mentality that I've kind of used throughout life now too, is a get to mentality.
That's good.
I like it.
So like, that's what I always tell my new
good.
people I train is like the 2 worst words you can say in this building to me or to anyone is have to.
Never say that again.
No, like,
ever say
I tell
that-
them
don't
that.
ever say that
I'm like,
again on
don't
this
say have
podcast.
to because
No, we don't say that. We don't
It's
say
a
that here.
privilege.
Yeah.
Everything like we take great pride in taking care of our guests and going the extra step.
Yeah.
And so I take a lot of pride in whenever I walk into work, I don't treat it as work or like a job, but like I get to go in and I get to make someone's night better.
Wow. And I feel like
beautiful.
imagine like that is something that everybody could take away right now that
I know. Go smile at your job. What are you doing?
you get to go to work.
It's a privilege to work.
No, that's so good. That's very, very true.
No, and it's really cool too. Let me just put this in because you love your job, and
I love
it's so evident. Because me and Philip got to go eat there a couple months ago, and I was just so giddy watching you smile. You were like,
So-
I'm like, look at this tall dude just smiling around in this
And
building.
it's weird too because like we're wearing masks right now too, but for like a brief period there, we had to take off our masks because they lifted the mandate and we wanted to be sure like everyone was comfortable with it. So we took off the mask for like maybe 2-3 weeks, and everyone at work was making fun of me because I smile so hard at work. So I'll just be casually walking around the dining room, like, just grinning, cheesing really hard.
Literally like Buddy the Elf.
Because like our old manager, Jack, he would look at us and he'd be like, if you're frowning, like if you're just like straight faced to like on the dinner floor, like, and you look over, you see him, he's smile. And then like, you just can't help but smile at the old man, so I don't know. I naturally smile a whole lot and everyone made fun of me for it.
Yeah.
But it's because I'm genuinely happy what I do. I love what I do.
It's evident.
Man,
It's good.
be thankful at the very least. Be thankful that you get to get up and go do something.
Speaking of getting to get to do something. Can we get to our late night munchies?
We can do that right now.
We
That's
get to
totally
eat.
fine.
Wait. So it's 901 Day. And in honor of 901 Day, we have a Memphis staple on our table today. And it is the one, the only Gibson's Donuts, baby. This is a Memphis staple for all you non-Memphians.
Yes.
I don't know really why. I kind of think it's actually a little overhyped.
Wait a second. Before you open this up, what do we call this?
The Memphis staple?
No, what do we call this segment?
Oh, late night.
You
late night munchies.
Yeah, get the jingle in.
Okay, but it has to be a thing for everybody.
Does Matthew have to do this?
Yeah,
with?
everybody just has to go. Okay, so say it. Go ahead and say it again.
The late night munchies.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now we can eat.
Yeah.
We get to eat.
Now
Yes,
we
now we
get
get
to
to
eat.
eat. And I mean, you guys can have whatever you want as you are indulging in these Gibsons on 901
Oh,
Day.
word. Which one do I want?
You want the maple bacon probably.
I think that's
Captain wants the maple bacon too. Come here, buddy. Here, I'll listen. Come here, buddy.
I feel
So,
someone would like to try it
as
too.
Michaela is indulging in a donut, do you have any kind of experience that you could tell us about maybe where you ran into a celebrity or what are some of the most interesting people you've been able to meet at Flight?
Oh man, I mean, meeting, very few.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, odds are they're not going to sit with your table or not going to sit at the bar with you. But I have met a lot of people. I've seen whole lot more. Like Justin Timberlake. I've seen him come in.
JT?
JT, the man.
I have a friend that's sick of JT.
He's like,
I don't know.
He doesn't like
From
him.
JT.
He's just sick of him. That's all I know.
I don't know.
I'm rude.
I've seen him, but like he has like bodyguards, like just like towering over his table. Like if you're not his server or like bartender, you're not walking up to that table at
Yeah.
all. And like when he goes to the bathroom, like the security guards kind of kick everyone out of the bathroom. Like,
Yeah.
please wait, sir. It's like the president's in there. Like he's the president of Memphis, pretty much. Tons of athletes
Yeah.
come in from time to time, especially during NBA season. Sorry, so like so you get a bunch of Grizzly players from time to time, but
Go Grizz.
they're just normal people.
Yeah.
They're people with money, people with talent,
And that's
of
what
course,
like
but-
I say to people that know me, like, I'm just a normal dude. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be shy to come up and talk to me. Like, even though we have this incredibly popular podcast, like,
Y'all, can I please tell them the story of yesterday when we were getting a mic?
just interrupt me completely.
Yeah, I will. Because so Philip, we were going to get a third mic for, our special guest. And this guy's like, yeah, you could upgrade to the more expensive mic whenever y'all get really popular or, reach a lot of followers. Philip was like, we've already hit that. I was like, what?
He just assumed that we're not
I'm
popular.
thinking I'm knowing that we only have like 5 views or whatever. And Philip's like, yeah, we have 200 views.
Man didn't know
And
how
I'm
big
just like
of a deal
sitting
this
there
channel
awkwardly
is.
laughing. So this guy knows that Philip's not being serious. But I think he really thought you were very confident in your 200 viewers.
He definitely knew I was confident, and I think he felt a little intimidated. I think he felt sorry.
I don't
I think he was sorry for disrespecting me like that, and
It
you,
was
and
an
my
odd
brother.
moment. It was an odd moment.
It was funny. So as we wrap up this evening, you're welcome to have one of these if you'd like. By the way, you already had one.
I had half of one.
Oh,
Oh, keep eating.
I want you to tell me and tell the listeners the story of the time you got hit by a car, and this is how we'll end. We'll end tonight with this story right here for you, ladies and gentlemen.
So I'm like 5 years old. I don't even know anymore. We're chilling out. It's like Palm Sunday or something like that. Same weekend, and our dad comes home from some sort of like missionary trip or some sort of church trip, and he brought us both home slingshots.
Yes.
Right. So like we're messing with the slingshots, and it's around Easter time, so there's a bunch of candy in the house too. And so Philip and I go out to the front of the yard and start shooting chocolate at each other. And he's like, go across the street and we'll shoot them at each other from like over the street. And so I'm like, all right, whatever, So I go across the street, and he's a bad shot, so he just
I'm a bad shot.
yeah, it literally went like 5 feet in front.
I'm
of
gonna
him.
let you finish.
It went like 5 feet in front of him, and it was like in the middle of the street. He's like, go get it. And I'm like, all right.
Oh, no.
So I don't think anything of it because I'm a kid. I'm a little kid. Doesn't know that, bad things happen when you don't look both ways. So I take a couple steps into the street. a lady coming down the street, sees Philip on the sidewalk. She's thinking he's going to cross out in front of her. And so she's just like staring at him the whole time while she's passing by, completely unaware that I'm in the middle of the street. All I remember is I get to the middle of the street and I regain consciousness on the sidewalk about 12 feet out, like over. And I kid you not, like that's so like I literally remember it so vividly, like get hit on the sidewalk in the ambulance. That's how it goes for me.
Do you remember the feeling of getting hit?
Not at all. No, like I just remember I was very like, I don't know. It's like, have you ever just like woken up from like a daydream?
Yeah.
And you're just like,
yeah.
what is happening? Is this real life? You know, that's kind of like what happened to me.
Scout.
And so I just kind of remember hit, sidewalk, ambulance. And then I remember being in the hospital at one point. Because like, have you ever smelled like latex gloves and like that smell of like a rubber?
Smell them all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's a good smell.
Yeah.
Not really.
We got a candle. Latex.
A latex smell?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hobby Lobby.
Bath and Body Works.
Whatever suits you.
But I don't know why I remember that, but I do. I went home, play with some Power Ranger Hot Wheels toys that she gave me. It's pretty ironic. The lady who hit me with a car gifted me
Just absolutely
Hot Wheel
blessed
cars.
him with the whole Toys R Us. Every
Why did it
like
have to be
literally,
cars?
she was bringing toys for weeks.
Traumatizing.
But she gave me Hot Wheels.
Yeah, anything else. Like
That's pretty weird.
Legos.
If you're
Right.
watching this,
anything.
lady, we thank you because I played with those too.
Yeah.
But let me just tell you my perspective, okay? Yes, we were playing with the slingshots. Yes, we were playing around the street. We were actually shooting back and forth. He was on one side of the street, I was on the other. One of my candies does have a misfire, and I call for Matthew to come help me look for it because I was just being that kid. Matthew did not look both ways. And yes, he did indeed get smacked by a 2003 Toyota Corolla, whatever it was.
So this was all your fault.
This man flew. He flew in the air and then is army crawling. He doesn't remember this, but he is army crawling on the street, just screaming, just
And you're just sitting there watching.
and he's got blood dripping from his eye. Not to be like graphic,
Oh, yeah.
but literally 7 days before this, I put this man. Was it the ER? Or did you just have to go to the doctor?
I think it was like some like ER doctor.
I don't know. It was like an urgent care where basically Matthew and I were in the backyard and I hit him with the golf club. Okay, we'll save the story for another day. It was not intentional, but I hit my brother in the face with the golf ball or with the golf club. That whole situation just pops open and I'm just screaming in the street. Thank goodness you were alive and okay, and you came home that night. What you weren't going to tell people is you had to have a walker.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was pink.
It was pink. Thought I was an old lady.
He was like in the hospital. They told him he had to use a walker to while his hip was healing, and that was pretty hilarious.
So you try to kill your brother twice.
I did not try and kill my brother twice. Okay, that's what it looks
You know,
like.
you can have the whole box of donuts if you like.
I wanted to. So this is my icebreaker for everybody. Like the whole two truths and a lie. I always include as one of the truths. I watched my brother get hit by a car.
So proud.
Nobody ever actually believes that. For some reason, they always think it's the lie. Anyways, we are very, very thankful that you've made it this far. If you're asleep, that's okay. That means we did our job. If you are happy and you've liked it, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. We will have more guest speakers on in the future. But Matthew,
Could be the cameraman.
it could be. Who is behind the
Who
camera?
is behind the camera?
Who's that cameraman?
No.
No. Find out next time on Bedtime Stories Podcast.
Bedtime
This is
Stories.
Philip.
See you.
Bye.
Adios.